All right, so LeBron saying the Mavericks are the reason why he is who he is today, Stephen A. Do you agree with him?
I think so. I think that LeBron James was not just devastated by the loss in the NBA Finals to the Dallas Mavericks. He was almost broken. And that is why my respect for him has elevated to astronomical levels, because to be as great as he is, to be the talent that he is, to be devoid of a championship on his resume would have been one of the biggest crimes in the history of this sport. You can't be, I don't know if at the time that LeBron James was devoid of a championship, that we saw a greater player in NBA history devoid of a championship. And that was what the situation was. And then to compound that with the criticism, the heat that was brought down upon him by the public at large, by critics, including me, because I've always contended. And it is, if you think about it, Skip, and please verify this for people that don't remember, it is the only criticism that I've ever given LeBron James. The fact that he came up smaller than Mini-Me in the fourth quarter of that NBA Finals series against Dallas. To this day, there is not a single solitary negative word that I have said about LeBron James other than that. And the reason why is because you have to understand that there's a responsibility that comes along with greatness. And I'm going to say this again, and I hope his people are listening, because I don't know if anybody has ever really gathered this. Skip Bayless, I've told you this on many occasions. I was confronted by Hall of Famers who came to me and said, you have to get on this guy. This guy is too great, but more importantly, his impact is too great, and he is celebrated too much to be somebody walking around without a championship. If it continues and he doesn't win, it will be a license for everybody else to sit there and think about padding their stats and doing nothing else without winning. He is the guy that can remind the new age of what it's all about and what it's supposed to be all about. He's got to be held accountable. So we're listening to him say what he just said last night. It's a reminder that he too sensed the totality of the moment, the impact that it had on his career and his life, and winning and finally overcoming those demons, winning a championship, all right, not only shut up the critics, not only gained all of our respect, but it also put LeBron James at peace finally. He got that proverbial huge monkey off his back. And as a result, it not only made him a better player, but it made him a better man. And that, to me, is what you were hearing when you heard him say what he said last night. And all of us are better for it because we get to watch his greatness uninhibited. It's a great thing.
Okay, I'm not buying the big picture concept of what you just said. I agree, and I appreciated that you criticized him in 2011. I don't know how you had another choice. It was just such a disaster. You had to criticize that performance.
Sure.
And you're right. Sure. And you haven't said a discouraging word since then. But I'm about to, because I'm not buying the concept that series, that failure in that finals changed everything for LeBron James. Now, I'm going to reiterate what I just said. I love this new guy that I've been seeing over the last 3 weeks. This is a shift for LeBron James. I have not seen this guy play this way, this mad from night after night after night ever before. And Stephen A., even, I'm going to reiterate, last night, the Mavericks, the current Mavericks, tried to trash talk him and tell him he couldn't shoot in his 11th season in the NBA. And because they still sense a little vulnerability there in his psyche. But what did he do last night? Instead of getting nervous the way he did in 2011 when they trash-talked him to his face, he got angry, and he took it out on them. This is a shift. But I'm going to point out to you, I still believe LeBron got a great break in the 2012 finals when he got to go up against a Kevin Durant who idolized him, who was his best buddy outside of Dwayne Wade within the confines of the Heat locker room. And Stephen A., you know and I know, LeBron and KD had played a lot of off-season one-on-one, and LeBron knew he could take the stick figure that was Kevin at that point into the post. And in games 2 through 5 of that finals, he took him down low and annihilated him playing point center. And he got all the three-point shooters, the snipers, great looks. And you know what Battier did. You know what Mike Miller did. You know what Chalmers did. Now, let's go to last year. And I'm sorry, in the big picture, in Game 6, that was 2011 all over again down the stretch. And I know you're going to say it's a cheap shot for me to bring it up, but I saw it again. He came apart down the stretch in Game 6. He had 3 big turnovers. He had 2 late at 40 seconds and 28 seconds. And if my Spurs hadn't come apart even worse, we might be having a really different conversation right now. LeBron missed the 3 to tie. It clanged long, as you know. Bosh got the rebound, and you know the rest of the story. Ray Allen saved LeBron's legacy with that 3 from the corner. Again, big picture, so did LeBron's career change dramatically off the 2011 failure? I don't think so. I think he was very fortunate in the previous 2 finals. But right now, I'm seeing a guy who got challenged by the world and by Kevin Durant, and he is emerging into a superstar level I have not witnessed before.